Hi, everybody. Welcome to the SalesIntel show, the podcast, the Pipeline Pioneers, where our objective is to help the community learn from each other, learn from the leaders, from the practitioners, from the experts as to how to generate the best B2B pipeline. We believe that revenue pipeline is the heart and blood of any company. And at SalesIntel, we strongly believe that generating pipeline is not just the BDR's responsibility or the AE's responsibility or the marketing team's responsibility. It takes a village. It truly takes a village to build a sustainable pipeline that converts into revenue. Today, I'm excited to have Brandon Hufford from Growth Sprint with me. Brandon, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it. So, Brandon, tell our audience a bit about yourself, your business, and how in your role do you generate the pipeline?
Yeah, so I've led teams in-house at big software companies. I was at Active Campaign for a while. I've led teams at agencies, scaled agencies from 10 to $25 million in revenue. And now I run Growth Sprints, which is an agency, maybe more of a consultancy, because it's just me. I don't want to lead any teams for a while. And I missed, if I'm honest with you, just doing the thing, right? Like taking myself too far out of the work. If you fill my day with meetings and spreadsheets and trackers for my trackers, that's a personal nightmare for me. I missed writing. I missed doing the marketing. So that's what I do now. Growth Sprints, helps companies, software companies primarily between 10 and $100 million in revenue, acquire new customers, mostly through content marketing.
Nice, nice. So, how do you generate the pipeline for your business?
Good question. So a lot of people that do what I do, especially people who use SEO as a distribution channel primarily, I'm not going to outrank Neil Patel. I'm not going to outrank Ahrefs and Semrush and HubSpot and all these companies in search. So I had to find a different way to market myself. I found out really early, I index really well like this, whereas a lot of these other people that want to click-clack behind the keyboard and never actually talk to other humans, they have the same label, right? They also say they do SEO. That's fine. I like doing this. So a lot of my pipeline generation has been through video, newsletter, community, and primarily LinkedIn, which was kind of a surprise for me at first.
That's great. That's great. So last year was challenging for a lot of companies in B2B, right? We couldn't hit our revenue goals. The pipelines were just not there. The pipelines that were there didn't convert well. And we made a lot of mistakes, right? If you look back 2023, is there something that jumps out in your business to say, I wish I had done things differently? And what's the learning that our audience can learn from?
So I'll be transparent with you. Like 2023 was a hard year. It started out great. And then it got really sketchy really fast. Usually there's the summer slump, right? And then it just never went back up. And I was like, oh no, what are we going to do? And I've had a great end of Q4, start of Q1. So everything's awesome now. I'm actually really excited for the future, which we'll probably talk about here in a second. But one thing that I noticed I did is I just let off the gas. I was kind of just going through the motions with some things, especially when you generate a lot of your pipeline through LinkedIn. There's a lot of noise, and there will only ever be more noise, right? Like yesterday was harder than the day before, which was harder than the day before. Like LinkedIn will never get easier. And I'm seeing that now myself. So I think I let my foot off the gas a little bit. I didn't push as much as I wanted to. And I honestly wasn't doing work that I was super proud of. I think the best marketers in the world want two things, right? You want impact and you want to like the work you're doing. Usually, especially if you're a CMO or VP and you have a team, if you have people on your team that either don't like the work, they're like the actual marketing materials they're creating, or they're not having impact, they're probably not going to stay for very long. So those two things are kind of my North Star. Do I like it, and is it having impact? And I think as much as it wasn't having impact, but I think a lot of it was I just didn't like what I was making.
Got it. Got it. So you're being more critical about what you put out there in terms of content.
Yeah, I think we all have taste, right? Like when you see somebody on LinkedIn or whatever, or an email newsletter, and you're like, this is the most generic thing in the world. And a lot of times these are the same people that are like, oh, I use ChatGPT to write all my posts, and they swear it works. But everybody who's senior, everybody who has taste, everybody who is is an actual thought leader, the people who do a lot of that stuff, they forget it's not just like a thinker, right? A thoughter, a thinker. You have to actually be a leader, and leading usually means you're coming up with new and interesting ideas.
That's right. That's right. Original ideas. So, 2024 is here. We have new budgets, new initiatives, new goals. Is there one new experiment that you are most excited about this year?
So I think it's a couple things. I had done video historically a lot, and it was a big like winning play for me. It's also really hard to fake, right? I'm gonna get back into video. I had kind of gotten out of it for a little bit. Now getting back in, reinvesting in video. I want to do a lot more experience primarily with vertical video, what I would call swipe video affectionately, Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, things like that. I just want to see if it has a business impact. Some businesses, it has a really huge ROI, some maybe less so. I'm curious. I want to find out for myself. I think the other thing that I'm really excited to do is, because I'm already so heavy on LinkedIn as a platform, LinkedIn has these things called thought leader ads, where essentially your business can run ads against your posts. They look pretty native in the feed. They look less like your generic, boring B2B ads, which is kind of typical of a problem that I call checkbox marketing, where we're just like going through the motions and stuff like that. Like I mentioned, I wasn't really proud of the work. I was kind of just checking off the boxes, doing my weekly newsletter, my daily post, whatever. So I'll be doing a lot more on the paid side on LinkedIn this year, which will be a lot of fun. And also really tripling down on something I call content IP, which is, especially in software companies, we always like to give clever names to the solutions, right? I remember ActiveCampaign tried to become email or customer experience automation. What does that even mean? And of course it flopped, because nobody wants that, right? Like if you're going to create a category, you're really just attaching yourself to something that's already existing. A lot of people forget that. And instead of trying to give clever names to our solutions, why don't we give clever names to the problems that we run into? Mm-hmm. That's a lot of the messaging work that I do with my clients, is helping them develop content IP. I have my own. I'm excited to lean more into that and really own some pieces of the space.
Oh, nice. I'm looking forward to seeing some of your experiments and how they pan out. Now let's switch the gears. We are going to play an interactive game.
Oh, I love that.
So Brandon, we all know that growth comes from many channels, right? We, as marketeers in B2B space, we generate our pipeline through multiple channels. So in this exercise, you have 100 pennies, and these are all the channels through which we generate B2B pipeline. How would you distribute your 100 pennies for your business with the goal to generate the most optimal pipeline for your business?
Okay, so I love this. I think that so I have a little bit more of a service side. I also split my mental space between the clients I work with, which are software companies,
sure,
and my own business, which is services, right?
Yep.
I think so I want to give as much generalized advice here that's actually applicable to people.
Yeah.
Things that I have been really strong on for a long time have been community. So let's definitely put one of the pennies in community. The problem is a lot of teams forget that community is not audience.
Yep.
Audience is audience. Community, they help each other. Audience is you join and I market to you, I help you. It's that arrangement. Community is they help each other, right? I hear that word is thrown around constantly. It is almost always used incorrectly. But I think that community can do a million things for the business. So let's actually put 2 in community.
I love it. Let's put 2 in community.
I'd also argue like partnerships, whether it is go-to-market partnerships or technology partnerships. There's a lot of different kinds.
Yep.
Super, super important. I would put one under customer-led growth and then founder-led growth. I just see over and over again, the companies that win have a point of view. And I think that has to come from the founder. I'm a huge, he doesn't know this because I've never spoken to him, but I'm a huge fan of Andy Raskin. He famously only works with the CEOs, all right? Like he can't insert himself in the middle of an organization and hope it goes up and down. Yep. He has to start at the top. So the founders that have strong points of view and can really lead, I think that's super important. And then I would also put another one under events. I think events are amazing when you do them well. If it is a corny weekly webinar, you know, if we're going to spend the first 10 minutes talking about like, where's everybody from and all that BS, like, I don't want it. Like, my time is valuable. I don't want to sit there. If I want to screw around with my friends, like, I have my own Slack community. I'll hang out with them there, right?
Yep.
So I would actually put 2 under events. I'm a big fan. There's a platform called Demio that I'm absolutely in love with. I think that's super important. We have 3 left. I mean, it'd be silly if I didn't put one under marketing-led growth, because that's what I do. So let's put 2 on marketing.
Uh-huh.
And then I think also maybe for the last one, I would put it under product-led growth, but not in like a PLG type of way. I'm not talking like freemium, free trial, or anything like that. I am real strong on whether you're a service-based business or a software company and you're watching this, listening to this, they like showing your product, showing your service up front. I have like a teaser video that I send out before sales calls, and people love it. I literally it's 7 minutes of me walking through it so that once we get on the call's all about them. Almost nobody does that. Same with software companies. You know, you can use a platform like Novatic, put your product right on your website, let them play around with it in a directed way so they can get to that aha moment even before they book a sales call, even before they start a trial, right? So I think that piece in product-led growth, some people might call that like a mix of marketing, but I would kind of couch it there.
So here's the distribution of your pennies, Brendan. Let me show you how community has been placing their bets, how community is spending their 100 pennies. Like, this is all the community here. And then I'm going to overlay now your data on top of this chart to see how Brandon stacks up, now how your bets are stacking up against the community. Is this something when you look at this chart or the comparison that surprises you?
Yeah, I think so. When I think of growth, so it's so funny because what I learned really early on working in services, especially at the 2 agencies where I kind of was really in marketing there, is that both of them were sales led. They were not marketing led agencies. Like, they had a really strong outbound motion, a really strong sales process. And it's something I've adopted as well. Like, I have fallen in love with selling. I don't think that I have the fortitude to be like an AE at a big software company or anything like that. But I do love the sales process. Like, give me all your scripts and talk tracks. Like, I eat that stuff up and I absolutely love it. It's something where I'm not sure what to lean into there that these other things for me might not also accomplish. So yeah, I would think, but I would also understand like why everybody that you have on, it leans a lot more into sales, right?
Yeah.
Like, especially if you are like, it is such a huge lever, whether we're talking like hiring or sales process or inbound, outbound. There's like all sorts of cool stuff happening in the world of sales right now, especially in my world of software. That, yeah, I'm not surprised.
No, I love your, investment in partnership, in community, in founders led. I would love to come back in a few months and look at how your progress, how your bets are paying off, and also share with you how the community bets are evolving. So thank you so much, Brendan. We really appreciate you joining this show with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.